I'm back. It's been like, actually, let me check how long it's been. It's been like a month. It's been a long time. So, yeah. Let me look. It says I'm offline. Oh, I didn't update. Okay. We gotta get back into it. There we go. Okay, let's change that actually. Okay. But yeah, let's check out this video about plane crashes. And, let's see if we can learn something. I watched a few videos about this guy, and they've all been pretty good so far. And, just a little interested to see what's up. Let's go. Viewer discretion is advised. That's interesting. Oh my goodness, I had my headphones.
This is shocking, but
thankfully I caught that. I left my mic off for like 3 minutes on a stream before. Actually, probably longer than that. That was pretty bad.
unfortunately true story of Pinnacle Airlines Flight 3701. Stay tuned.
Intro.
Earlier during the day of the 14th of October 2004. The accident aircraft, which was a Bombardier CRJ-200, was due to fly from Little Rock over to Minneapolis with passengers on board.
Quiet.
But as the flight crew lined the aircraft up on the runway in Little Rock and set takeoff thrust, they got an ACAS message. And the ACAS message had to do with the right-hand engine bleed air system. So the crew aborted the takeoff, they taxied back into the apron in Little Rock, and they called for some engineers. And the engineers were struggling initially to find the issue with the engine, so they called in some more mechanics to help them. Meanwhile this was going on, the passengers was redirected onto a different flight, so took them over towards Minneapolis. So this meant that after a few hours, when the tiny little fault had been found and rectified, the aircraft was still sitting on the apron in Little Rock. But the airline needed that aircraft to fly the following day out from Minneapolis, so they now needed to get that aircraft over to Minneapolis. So they called in a standby crew. The crew that was called out to operate the flight consisted of a captain, was 31 years old, 6,900 hours of total time and 973 hours on the CRJ-200. He was happily married, family man, with mostly good training comments. Together with him was I
feel like we have a problem already. The captain did not always perform checklists according to company policy or procedures. It did not always use the correct checklists. I feel like that should be like a requirement to be a pilot, low-key.
3-year-old first officer. He had been flying for Pinnacle for just over 6 months at the time. He had 761 hours of total time, 222 on the CRJ-200, and he was described as a really happy and positive person who was very happy with his position in Pinnacle. Both of the pilots were flown in as passive crew members on a flight from Detroit. They arrived at Little Rock about 20:36 in the evening, and they were both described to be in a good mood, well rested by people who met up with them on the ground. And according to the captain's wife, these two pilots had not flown together before. Before we go any further, I just want to point out a little bit about these type of positioning flights. So they are quite rare, obviously, because the airline doesn't like to fly around with empty aircraft. And because of that, there's always a bit of feeling of doing something special when you're operating a positioning flight. There's no cabin crew on board, there are no passengers on board, and because of that, you also, as a pilot, have to do some extra stuff, like you have to operate the air stairs if you have any. You have to make sure that the galleys are secure, that there are no trolleys moving around, and you need to arm the forward slides in case of an evacuation. There are very rarely any time pressures on a positioning flight. Like in this case, for example, the crew just needed to get the aircraft over towards Minneapolis to be used the following day. And because of that, it's likely that it was a quite good and kind of festive spirit to the operation.
I would feel kind of weird.
Other things that you also need to remember.
Flying like a massive commercial plane, and you know, it's just two people on it. I feel kind of weird.
Is that when you're operating an empty flight like this, the aircraft doesn't handle like it normally does. You're much lighter, so the performance is going to be different. It's going to be able to do things that it normally cannot do. Knowing this actually poses some quite significant threats, because the way that you operate an aircraft needs to be exactly the same no matter if you're operating with or without passengers or cabin crew. Okay, that's just to keep in mind. The crew received their briefing material, their flight plans. They were planned to climb up to a cruising altitude of 33,000 feet, and the weather along the route looked nice with only a partially covering cloud layer on the departure airport, but getting clearer as they moved northbound. At time 21:21, the CRJ-200 took off from Little Rock Airport, and almost immediately it was apparent that this aircraft was not being flown the way it was supposed to be. Because only 5 seconds after takeoff, at an altitude of about 450 feet, the first out of several very large pitch-up inputs came from the cockpit. The first one caused a lateral G loading of 1.8 Gs. It pitched the altitude up to 22 degrees nose up and caused a 3,000 feet per minute climb. This was then really quickly followed by a stick shaker event and then a stick pusher event, as in when the aircraft is pushing the nose forward. That was followed by full forward inputs on the yoke, which leveled the aircraft off and caused a lateral loading of about 0.6 G. Now, there was no indication of why this happened, because unfortunately there was no cockpit voice recorder data saved from this beginning of the flight. But from the flight data recorder, we know that this was the first out of 3 such inputs, which we'll get to in a second. The aircraft continued to climb. And
still, so far, nothing very odd has happened. Like, he mentioned that the aircraft handles differently, so like it kind of makes sense. The inputs would be inconsistent. So far, it seems
time
pretty
21:25, so about 4 minutes after takeoff, as the aircraft reached about 14,000 feet climbing, the autopilot was engaged. And after that, both transcripts from air traffic control and flight data recording shows that the pilots now swapped seats. So this means that the captain moved from the left seat to the right seat, and the first officer moved over to the left seat.
For what reason?
We don't really know, but what we do know is that shortly after this, the autopilot was disconnected and a second pitch-up command was recorded from the cockpit. This time they pulled 2.3 Gs of vertical loading that gave a climb rate of about 10,000 feet per minute. The aircraft continues to climb, and just after this, there is recordings of left and right cyclical movements of the rudder. So they started to the left, then right, then left, then right again. And this gave some side loading to the aircraft, well within the performance limits of the aircraft, but definitely not something that you would have ever felt as a passenger, and not something that you would normally do. Anyway, the crew continues to climb, and at 24,600 feet, the last pitch up input is being felt. This time it's a 1.87 G loading, and that gives about 9,000 feet per minute in climb rate. This is indicative of pilots that are kind of testing things out. Right? They're doing stuff now that they would never do when they have passengers or cabin crew on board, kind of testing the limits of what the aircraft can do. The aircraft now continues to climb up to their planned cruising altitude of 33,000 feet. But somewhere around here, the flight crew decides that it would be a good idea to see if they can climb up to the maximum certified ceiling of the CRJ-200, which is 41,000 feet. So they contact air traffic control, they request flight level 410,
Like, I
and air traffic
understand
control
having
sees
fun,
that there's
but
no
that
traffic
seems
above them,
insane.
so they clear them up to this level. Somewhere around here is also where the cockpit voice recorder transcripts start recording. So from here, we know that the pilots were kind of giggling, right? They were in a festive mood in the cockpit. There are a lot of expressions like, oh man, oh bro, let's 41 it, I can't believe we're this high, it looks kind of normal though, and a lot of laughter and things like that. Definitely indicating that the mood in the cockpit is different than it would be on a normal commercial flight.
Okay.
The autopilot mode that the pilots are using to climb up to 41,000 feet is going to become really important to this story. They're using a mode called vertical speed. And what vertical speed does is kind of like the name implies, it maintains a certain climb rate, a certain vertical speed. This is a mode that we normally use very, very rarely when we are operating at high altitude, because it will climb with that vertical speed, and it will sacrifice speed in order to maintain that vertical climb rate. And this is exactly what happens. So from around 37,000 feet or so, the pilots input 500 feet per minute climb rate. Maintaining that climb rate is fine, providing that the thrust from the engines can sustain it, okay? Because the auto throttle will move the thrust to full thrust, and then it will maintain 500 feet per minute. And if the thrust is not enough, the speed will start decaying. And this is exactly what happened. They started with a speed of 203 knots, which is Mach 0.63. And as they kept climbing, the speed kept creeping lower and lower and lower. So as they reached 41,000 feet, the speed was now at 163 knots and Mach 0.57. Now, why is this important? Well, this turns out to actually be the most dangerous thing that they've done so far. Because if you know your aerodynamics, you know that as the speed keeps going slower and slower, if you want the aircraft to continue to fly, the angle of attack of the wing, as in the angle that the wing is having against the oncoming air, needs to increase. You need to have more and more angle of attack in order to create the same kind of lift with lower speeds. Okay. However, when you do that, the pressure difference between the lower part of the wing and the upper part of the wing will increase, and that will increase those vortexes that are being created at the wingtips. Now, those vortexes also comes with something called induced drag. So what this effectively means is that as the aircraft keeps going slower and slower, especially at high altitude where the air is really thin, this induced drag will become bigger and bigger, and the aircraft might end up in a situation which we pilots refer to as being at the back of the drag curve. Essentially, that means that as the aircraft goes slower, the drag will increase, so it will go even slower, and it will go slower and slower. And unless you have enough engine thrust to pull yourself out, to accelerate the aircraft, to reduce that drag, well, the aircraft will eventually stall, right? It will not return to this speed by itself. And another issue you have when you're up at these altitudes is that the air is so thin that the engine thrust is greatly reduced, right? The engines will not be as effective up there. So we are really, really careful when we operate at higher altitudes because of this. Right? This is something that we are constantly looking out for when we are climbing, and that's why vertical speed is a mode that can be very dangerous. And in fact, this is probably the most dangerous things that I've done up until this point, even though all of the other things that they've done is much more spectacular. The pilots of this flight doesn't seem to recognize this issue. Instead, they are really amped about having joined the 41K club. They are discussing this forth and back and how cool it is. And they're also at this point being changed over from one air traffic controller over to the other. The new air traffic controller asks them what aircraft type they're flying. And when they respond that they're flying a CRJ-200, the air traffic controller basically responds, oh, I've never seen you guys up that high before. And the captain responds to that with, well, we don't have any passengers on board, so we decided to have a bit of fun and come up here. And this is actually our service ceiling. So that kind of highlights that there was no operational reason for the crew to climb
They're
up to
actually just
41,000 feet.
vibing
The
up
only
there,
reason
man.
they did so was
Yo,
because
if I was flying a plane, I do this. Yo, just like, you only live once, man. Gotta go for it sometimes. Like, even if it risks your life, you could die, you could lose the plane, just go for it, man. Why not fly to 40,000 feet? I don't know.
they wanted to try something out.
That's the logic right
to
there.
join the 41K club. The captain asks the first officer if he wants something to drink. The first officer makes some jokes about checking if the liquor cabinet is locked, but then he asks for a Pepsi. The captain goes to prepare the Pepsi for the first officer. When he comes back, it seems like he's starting to realize that this is not a good position they're in.
Are they still climbing at that point, though?
We're losing here. We're gonna come down in seconds, and this thing ain't gonna hold the altitude, is it? And the first officer responds with, "It can't, man. We kind of greased it up here, but it won't stay." What this indicates is exactly what we were talking about before. They're now so far back on the drag curve that even though the thrust is set to maintain the speed and the altitude, the speed just keeps decelerating, and this is what they're seeing on the speed tape. At 21:54, the captain contacts air traffic control and asks them to get a lower altitude, maybe flight level 390 or 370. But only seconds after he calls, the first stick shaker event happens as the aircraft reaches 150 knots of indicated airspeed. This is then followed by 4 other stick shaker events and 4
do you think
stick
they didn't
pusher
have permission
events.
to go up there?
For
they
each of
wouldn't need
these,
permission to
every
come
time
down
that the
either.
stick pusher is activated, the nose
But
is
maybe I'm
pushed
wrong.
down in order to gain airspeed, but almost immediately after that, the nose is then being pulled up again to maintain the altitude. This has as a consequence that the speed just keeps going lower and lower and lower, and the
Just
attitude of the
excess
aircraft,
drag.
angle of attack, is getting higher and higher. And the highest indicated attitude was 29 degrees nose up at 41,000 feet. When that happened, on the 5th stick shaker and 4th stick pusher, the aircraft goes into an aerodynamic stall. As that happens, both engines 1 and engine 2 flame out almost simultaneously, and the aircraft goes into a bank with the left wing low. It banks as much as 82 degrees left and pitches down with 32 degrees nose down.
Well,
In the following 14
That's-
seconds,
that's
the
a
pilots
lot.
are inputting on the controls and manages to get the aircraft under control, but they're losing 7,000 feet in the process. During the recovery procedure, the captain had time to call air traffic control. He said, "We're declaring an emergency, stand by," and then he's focusing on the first officer's actions in the left-hand seat. Air traffic control comes back and gives them a clearance to descend 24,000 feet, which the captain acknowledges. As this is happening, the ADG, the air-driven generator, which is similar to a RAT, a ram air turbine on Airbus, is being deployed into the airstream. We can hear that on the cockpit voice recorders because it makes quite a lot of noise in the air.
Oh,
And about
I've
20
heard of
seconds
those.
after the initial stall, someone in the cockpit calls out, we don't have any engines, and the captain responds with dual engine failure. This is then quickly followed by the captain starting to action the dual engine failure checklist, which has some memory items in it. One of those memory items is to make sure that the airspeed of the aircraft doesn't go below 240 knots. Now, that's not very clearly written in the checklist. It just says airspeed 240 knots. It doesn't clearly specify that that's the minimum. And this is going to be one of the changes that will come out of this accident eventually. Because as they're descending now, they're not maintaining 240 knots. They're maintaining a lower speed than that, between 170 and 200 knots indicated. The dual engine failure checklist tells the crew to, if they're between 21,000 feet and 13,000 feet, to consider a windmill start. And the beginning of that checklist is that you need to maintain 240 knots, stabilize yourself there, and when you're ready to try to windmill start the engines, as in using the airflow from the speed of the aircraft to turn the engine components in order to start them, you need to pitch the aircraft forward in order to achieve an airspeed of at least 300 knots indicated. So the captain is reading this out and he's telling the first officer to pitch forward. All right, give me 300 knots, pitch forward more. The first officer does so.
He
pitches the aircraft forward with about 5 degrees nose down. But every time that he does so, he continues to pitch the aircraft up again. So the highest speed that the aircraft reaches throughout this maneuver is 236 knots, which is lower than the minimum 240 needed. And you will understand why this is so important later on in this video. Now, as the captain is dealing with the dual engine checklist, the cabin altitude alert goes off. Because the way that the pressurization system is built in modern airliners is that it uses bleed air from the engines to pressurize the aircraft. And of course, if you've lost both engines, it means that there is no bleed air available now to pressurize the cabin. So as they're dealing with the checklist now descending, the cabin altitude has been steadily increasing until they're now in a position where they need to put the masks on. There's a little bit of ambiguity in the cockpit voice recorder and the flight data recorder about when they actually put the masks on, but they did put the masks on during this time. With all of this going on, the captain continues to insist that the first officer lowers the nose to get the speed up, but it doesn't really happen and the captain doesn't push for it any further than that. The aircraft is now descending through about 29,200 feet, and up until this point, the electrical power has been supplied by the air-driven generator, the AGG. But at this point, and following the dual engine failure checklist, the captain decides to switch on the auxiliary power unit, the APU. And that's important because the APU will be able to provide full electrical power to the aircraft, and also, crucially, it will be able to provide pneumatic power in case the windmilling start is unsuccessful and they need to do an APU-assisted restart attempt later on. I also want to point out at this point that the aircraft is almost at 30,000 feet, and even if they don't have two engines at 30,000 feet, they have a quite good gliding distance. Okay, they have a large area around them which they could reach given the speed and the altitude they have. And within the gliding distance, they have about 6 airports at this point. Now,
so
this serves as a good reminder that if you ever find yourself in a situation like this, if you're a pilot, dividing the roles in the cockpit is really important. The pilot flying in a situation like this has to assume the worst, namely, we have lost both engines, we might not be able to restart them, so what is my plan going to be? And communicate with air traffic control, point towards an airport that is within your obvious gliding distance, probably keep yourself a little bit high, and just aim for that. Start preparing plates, start briefing yourself quietly in order to be able to get into one of these airports. Now, the pilot monitoring, on the other side, needs to focus on running through the checklist accurately, trying to get at least one of the engines started. Because if they manage to start one engine, they will have a lot more options and a lot more time available.
Yes.
But in this case, this crew seems to be fully focused on just trying to start up the engines, right? The first officer is maintaining a largely northerly, northeasterly heading, and there's no discussions going on about which airports to go to, nor are they talking to air traffic control and giving them any kind of indications on how severe this problem is. But at this point, air traffic control actually calls the aircraft up and asks them what their status is, what kind of failure and emergency they're actually declaring. Because remember, up until this point, they've only declared an emergency, and they've also told air traffic control to stand by, which means that air traffic control is going to assume that they're really busy and they're working on the checklist and are unlikely to come in and, potentially interrupt them. But here air traffic control thinks that the timing, it's been too long, they need to know a little bit more about what's going on. So they ask them, and the captain comes back, and what the captain says is that, we've had an engine failure up here, and we're now trying to descend to restart the other engine. This is not true.
That makes it sound like you have one engine failure.
Yes, they have had an engine failure, but they've also had a second engine failure. And the difference between an aircraft that is flying on one engine, wanting to restart the other, and an aircraft flying without any engine is huge. One is an immediate emergency, the other one is a well under control situation. So the controller comes back and said, understand, controlled flight on one engine, and there's no response back from the captain to that question. As the aircraft continues to descend now, the captain tries to restart the engines using the APU. He does 4 separate restart attempts, 2 on each engine, all of them unsuccessful. The N2 rotation is stuck at 0. It does not move whatsoever. And as they're now getting closer to 13,000 feet, they ask for further descent from air traffic control. Air traffic control comes in and asks them, do you need to land? And the captain just responds that, no, we're still trying to restart this engine. So at this point, as low as 13,000 feet, air traffic control still does not know that they're dealing with an aircraft that doesn't have any engines. And the captain still APU, right? Seems like he's trying to,
that's all they need,
to obscure the fact that they have put themselves in this situation. At time 22:08, the captain is heard on the cockpit voice recorder saying, switch. The first officer responds with, yeah. And then there is some reshuffling sounds on the cockpit voice recorder indicating that the pilots are now switching back to their original seats. So the captain goes into the left seat again, the first officer into the right seat, and from this point onwards, the captain is in control of the aircraft, and the first officer is handling the checklist and talking to air traffic control. And when the first officer calls up air traffic control, the first thing he does is to declare that they're actually having a dual engine failure and that they need vectors towards the closest airport immediately. As the aircraft is passing about 9,000 feet now, with air traffic control well aware about what's going on, the crew is asking for help to get towards the closest available airport, and that is identified as Jefferson City, which is just straight ahead. The problem is, though, that even though Jefferson was within gliding range when they were at 30,000 feet and when they were at 20,000 feet, since they've been maneuvering, since they've been trying to restart the engines and haven't focused on maintaining the best gliding speed, which would have been 170 knots, Jefferson City is now outside of the gliding range, but they haven't really found that out yet. They haven't noticed that yet. Instead, the first officer is asking air traffic control to get the frequency for the tower of Jefferson City, also for the ILS frequency, so that they can tune that. And at this point, they're still in cloud, okay? The cloud layer overhead Jefferson City is about 5,000 feet. So they're continuing to descend now. The captain is asking for vectors to turn to establish themselves on the center line, which they eventually do. But when they break out of clouds at about 5,000 feet, then the captain asks where the runway is. The first officer sees the runway, points it out to the captain, and the captain states, we're not going to make this runway. And is there a road or something? They look around themselves, they see a straight line of lit highway a little bit to the left, so the aircraft departs from the runway center line in Jefferson City and turns towards this highway. At time 22:14,
like all the decisions are insane so far.
The captain is heard on the cockpit voice recorder saying, let's keep the gear up. I don't want to go into any houses here. Now that shows some significance to me, because as a pilot, I know that if you are to make an emergency landing on solid ground, getting the gear out is crucial in order for the gear to absorb some of the impact forces. And the fact that they choose not to do that, to extend their glide, to try to avoid houses, shows that the captain is now focused on trying to avoid casualties on the ground. The last thing that is heard on the cockpit voice recorder is, we're going to go into houses. That's actually a logical decision. And then there are several ground proximity warning system alerts, followed by the impact noises at 22:15:06. The aircraft clips a few trees and a garage before it impacts the ground inside of a populated area. It flips over and bursts into flames as it lands. Both pilots are lost in the impact, but fortunately there are no injuries to any persons on the ground.
Well, that's
the aircraft
at least.
investigation team was very quickly on site at Jefferson City, and they started to try to gather up data and information about what could have caused this. And very quickly they could find the undamaged cockpit voice recorder and flight data recorder. And from that, they were able to build a pretty clear picture of what had been going on. Obviously, the main focus was on the way that the pilots had acted up until they stalled at 41,000 feet. But there were a few questions that needed to be answered. One, why did the pilot flying, the first officer in this case, act the way he did when he was confronted with the stall warnings? Number two, why did the aircraft's engines flame out as the aircraft stalled, and why were they not able to get the engines running again? Now, we're going to get into the technical aspects of this just after this message from my sponsor. I also want to take a few seconds here to say a special thank you to the sponsor of this episode, which is Skillshare. Now, I know that you are watching this because you are a curious person, a lifelong learner, someone who constantly wants to improve and understand the world around you better. And in that case, Skillshare is definitely something that you should be checking out. Okay, they have thousands of high-quality video courses and pretty much anything that you can imagine. A course that I'm using myself at the moment is 5 today. To answer the first question about why the first officer acted the way he did when confronted with the stall warnings, they had to go back to the training organization at Pinnacle Airlines. And it was very clear from the training organization that the way that the crews were being trained to handle impending stalls was to avoid getting into a fully developed stall. So to use the stick shaker or the onset of vibrations as a first indication of stall, and to act accordingly, to try to get the aircraft out of stall, increase the speed, decrease the angle of attack as soon as possible. But what also became clear,
at least from my basic knowledge of how flight works, when you pitch down, you should gain quite a bit of speed. And then from there, you would obviously not be stalling because you have lift.
Clear to the investigation team was that this type of training was very rarely done at high altitudes. It tended to be done at around 10,000 feet in different configurations, and a lot of the emphasis on these type of training was to try to both rectify the stall situation, as in getting the airspeed up and getting the angle of attack down, but also to minimize altitude loss. And this was common in the entire industry at the time of the accident, that it was kind of thought that stalls would mainly happen as the aircraft was part of the approach traffic circuit, and therefore terrain would be a major issue. So once the immediate stall threat
obviously
was solved,
crashing into the ground is not great.
Altitude loss needed to be minimized. And also at around 10,000 feet and below, the engines are very powerful. The engines have the possibility to almost pull an aircraft out of a stall. That's not what happens at 41,000 feet, where the engines have very little excess thrust available. So as a consequence of this accident, airlines all over the world started to practice more high altitude stalls and to emphasize on the importance of really getting the nose down and keeping the nose down until the speed has recovered, using the engines nice and slowly and smoothly to get the speed up, and only once the speed is back up and the aircraft is unstalled can you start thinking about regaining altitude, not before then. Now this brings us then to the issues with the engines. And when it comes to why the engines actually flamed out, that was fairly easy to figure out, because the aircraft was in such an extreme position at 41,000 feet with a pitch altitude of 29 degrees and a really, really low speed. What actually happened was that the airflow going into the engines was severely disrupted. This led to compressor stalls and basically not enough air being pumped into the combustors in order to sustain the flames.
The engine stalled.
So the flame out of both of these engines came from the extreme attitudes that the aircraft found itself in during the upset. But this still doesn't explain why the engines wouldn't restart, right? It's one thing if they flame out, but if you're at 41,000 feet, You should have ample time to both try to windmill restart the engines and then later on use the APU to start it. But in this case, no matter what the flight crew was doing, the N2, the high pressure compressor and turbine just would not move, right? N2 was stuck at zero, right? And no matter what they did, it wouldn't turn.
Crew, really.
Why is this? Well, when the NTSB asked the engine manufacturers, they found out that these particular engines, the CF34-1 and 3 engines, had issues with the in-flight engine starting procedure during certification testing. Namely that if the engine core was allowed to wind down to zero, it could face something called a core lock. And what a core lock basically is that it has to do with an air seal inside of the high pressure turbine. Now this air seal, it directs airflow and cooling inside of the engine. And because it does that, it has to be really, really tight. And the way it's constructed is it has a rotating part and a static part. Now the rotating part has some teeth in it that grinds little grooves in the softer static part around it. And generally during normal engine operation, the margins are really, really tight. Now what can happen if the engine is running at a really high temperature and then suddenly gets cooled down is that the softer surrounding static material will cool down quicker than the rotating part of the air seal. And when that happens, the rotating part can move outside of those grooves that it has been grinding and into new material in the soft material. And at the same time, the softer material, since it's cooling down quicker, is contracting around the rotating part, greatly increasing the friction inside of the engine. If the N2 rotation, so the high pressure part inside of the engine, is allowed to come to a complete stop, this can actually lock the engine up until the internal components have cooled enough for them to release from each other. And this is why, remember how I said earlier in the video that it was so important that the airspeed was kept at the...
I'm gonna be honest, guys. I understood absolutely none of that, bro. Like there is. I'm not even gonna pretend. Building a plane is hard. Like building an engine, very hard. Like
minimum of 240 knots.
I don't even understand them.
Well, that's because at 240 knots, there's enough air running through the core of the engine to keep this air seal rotating while it's being cooled down. Then, as it has cooled down properly and you restart the engine, you will not have a problem. But as you know, on this particular occasion, since the pilots had forced the aircraft up to 41,000 feet and allowed the airspeed to come down that slow, it meant that the engines were operating at almost full power, heating them up greatly without getting much cooling air running through the core. So one of the engines was actually operated 300 degrees outside of its red line maximum temperature. The other one was just below the red line. And when the pilots finally got the aircraft into that upset where there were 29 degrees and the aircraft stalled, well then the engines would have been red hot and then suddenly flamed out, cooling down really quickly since they're at the really cold temperatures that we have at 41,000
So
feet.
I guess that just causes everything
Then
to lock up.
the aircraft was
Like
descending down at a lower speed, allowing this core lock to occur. And this is what happened. These engines were completely locked up. It didn't matter what the pilots did after that point. They wouldn't start rotating. The only thing that would have allowed them to start rotating was more time to let the internal components cool down sufficiently so that they release from each other, and then they would have been able to restart the engines. Now, because of this, there was an airworthiness directive sent out to all of the users of the CF34 engines to let them know about this potential for core locks in certain situations. And there was also mandates from the FAA to General Electric to try to update the way that these air seals were constructed to minimize the risk for core locks like this to happen in the future.
Logical thing to do there.
So this just brings us to the end of the final report and what the NTSB deemed to be the probable cause of the accident. The National Transportation Safety Board determines that the probable causes of this accident were 1. The pilot's unprofessional behavior, deviation from standard operating procedures, and poor airmanship, which resulted in an in-flight emergency from which they were unable to recover, in part because of the pilot's inadequate training. 2. The pilot's failure to prepare for an emergency landing in a timely manner, including communicating with air traffic controllers immediately after the emergency about the loss of both engines and the availability of landing sites. And 3. The pilot's improper management of the double engine failure checklist, which allowed the engine cores to stop rotating, resulting in the core lock engine condition. Contributing to this accident were 1. The core lock engine condition, which prevented at least one engine from being restarted, and 2. The airplane's flight manuals that did not communicate to pilots the importance of maintaining a minimum airspeed to keep the engine cores rotating. I know that this video might stir up some feelings in you, feelings like anger, disappointment, shock, and awe. That's not the reason I chose to make this video. I chose to make this video because it highlights a really important point, which is how important it is to stay professional no matter what kind of situation you find yourself in.
I'd say that's
Even
very important.
If you are in a position where no one will ever find out how you were operating or what you were doing,
like my stream,
it still might have impact, it still might have consequences. So try to stay as professional as possible. Also, there are some really important learning points in this video regarding high altitude operations.
I mean, I know he said it wasn't to like spark emotion, but that's just insane to me, man. Like how, it seems like the blatant disregard is immense here. Like how do you, I mean, I don't even know. It's insane. Like, where does the logic come in, man? I don't get it.
Aerodynamics and also some technical systems.
It's actually like,
and this is always
playing
why
a game.
I make these videos, right? Every one of these videos in my series about aviation accidents and incidents, which you can see more of up
we
here,
can learn from at least.
I will try to highlight something that is really important, something that made the aviation world a bit safer after the accident, even though it might have been really, really tragic when it happened. And I hope that you find these videos interesting and that they teach you something, even if you're not in the aviation industry. And if you do, then please share these videos on social media, but also make sure that you have subscribed to the channel and that you've highlighted the notification bell so that you know whenever I send out
actual
new
channel.
videos.
I don't subscribe.
I hope that I get to hear from you inside of the Mentor Aviation app or inside of my Discord server. If you want to buy one of these t-shirts that I'm wearing, well then I have several of them available in my Teespring store.
Anyways, good video though by Mentor Pilot. Go check him out. Oh, yeah. It is interesting though. I'll say that. The decisions some people make. Like, we all do stuff that's regrettable, I'd say, but like that's interesting. Yeah, RIP, man. Like that's rough. But on the topic of interesting things, my Motorsport Manager game. Wait, I have to load everything up. Hopefully I don't get copyright strike for this playlist. Like, legitimately, these non-copyright things, it's a lie. I get claims on my I upload it to the VOD channel, and it's I'm just getting scammed out here, man. I'm getting scammed. Yeah. let me turn this down.
It's the final few seconds before the lights go.
Final few seconds, lights go out. I actually haven't played this game at all since the last time I streamed it, so like a month and a half. Hopefully I'm still very skilled at it. I still have the skill of a 3-year-old at this game. Hopefully I'm not back to 2 years old. That would be unfortunate. Oh, there we go. What are all the championships you can compete in? I wonder. Wait, it's like it doesn't show here. Wait, what if I continue? Yeah, you have to do all this stuff to get to that. Whatever. We're still going. But the big Motorsport Manager, the return, the road to Formula 2, man. Wait, do I need a different? I never made like. I could actually make the command right now. Yeah. Man, every time I go for like a break from streaming, I just lose it. Let's do this. Like this. Submit. There we go. Okay, race 2. I think it's season 2, no? Right? I mean, I believe so. Wait, does it say anywhere what season it is? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's season 2. It might be season 3. But that is not what I think it is. Let me do this. And F3. There we go. I have a scuffed command. Car, horrible drivers. Thank you for the follow. Dallas and number 3. Thank you. Nice. Car worst. Drivers worst. Staff. No, not good. Yeah, I know my game is a little questionable right now. I'm not gonna lie. Let me think here. The mistake percentage is actually 0. Can we remove fatigue? This guy can do like tires. Let's have him do like this. 11. Go there. High mistake chance. Is this the beginning of the career? No. It's my second race of the second season. But I am still in F2 though. But my car, yeah, it's we don't talk about it though. Like it's a little scuffed. But it's fine. Hey, but actually, you know something? I'm not in last place. I'm not. Wait, how do you see it? There's a page where you see it. Wait, so, look, I'm not in last place. This is all that matters to me, okay? If we can avoid being in last, that's a win for me. Okay, thanks for the follow, Modo _ Yeah, I try. Okay, I signed this driver because it has a lot of potential, and then I just sniped them for no money. So that's actually, if I look at my staff, all these people have really good potential, but I got them like for really cheap. What is this? I don't need that. Yeah. So my goal is just to get all the potential, and then I'll get better. Interview. You attempted a Oh my goodness. You attempted a quick pit stop for Gomez during the last race, but it resulted in a mistake. Your very own chairman, your very own chairman criticized the move, saying that motorsport isn't the place for gambling. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. Okay, they're just less confident in me, I guess. The morale went down. My drivers now hate me. Okay, I just did the pit crew thing. I haven't finished pit crew. There are 3 new people to hire. This is kinda good. Rear jack. What is my rear jack now? It's 11. I probably don't need the 12. I do need another tire person though, because I have 9 in 1. And I have nothing better. So maybe I'll hire. Gotta always side with the team. I mean, yeah. You know, it's yeah, you gotta. Hey, if I do something, I will always have full confidence in my decision. I will. You know what? I will never ever renounce the decision, even if it one of my driver's cars blows up. Hey, I'll stand by my decision, and yeah, I'll stand by my decision, and 100% every time. I had nowhere to go from there. That's a bad sentence. Anyways, that should be a new tire person that I can just put here. Do we have a better front jack? This guy has 0 mistake chance. Okay, we actually should not have any mistakes. Oh wait, this guy's better. Wait, no, that's rear jack 10. Front jack. Wait, what am I looking at? Front jack 9. Yes. Where is it? This guy. Oh no, that's 0.5. I have not been playing for a long time. I literally got the game, and then I waited to start playing it on stream. This is my first ever save of the game. So I'm very not good at it, but I'm trying my best. Yeah, and my first race went horribly, but we're gonna bounce back, okay? That's all I can hope for. Okay, I think I can just progress now. Car repair complete. So, yeah, I've watched some other streamers play the game and some videos of it a long time ago, and it's pretty fun, but I don't know how much I would like it just playing by myself. We'll have to see. Maybe when I get deeper into it, I'll be able to say. Reliability. And I can improve performance on this because we'll probably keep it for a while. What is my worst part? Acceleration. And it's crucial at the next race, which is in 22 days. Okay. I could just go for acceleration now. 101 or 106 max. I think either way it's good. But I also have to think, will it be ready for the next race? So how long will it take? 11.9 days. Yeah. I'll have like 11 days to improve it. I think I'll build this for the extra 5 performance in the end. Read the weather forecast. Okay, here's the thing. I've literally done this multiple times where like I get into a race and then I have to like go through like 5 menus to figure out what like the rain is gonna be in the race. That way I get like the right parts or not the right parts, like the right knowledge in there is no qualifying in practice. Okay, like that is something that I have to remember to do. It's also looking at forecasts during the race to not forget that, because that could end up pretty bad as well. Honestly, I think I can just progress. We got a new driver scouted. The gearbox should be done. Actually, you know what I should also put? This isn't aimed at you. That comment was fine, but I should put no back cheating, because you know there are people who will be like, do this, do that, like if you don't do the exact words, and it's like gonna lose, and that can get a little annoying. Let's just go into fun runner. Marketability, I like money. Scouting report finished, below average. Decent potential. We can build the all Chinese driver lineup. But honestly, I feel like I kind of want someone with like 5-star potential to be the first driver. See, I signed her as a number 2 specifically because I want the like that guy, you know, the perfect drivers. I also kind of know a little bit about the drivers because a lot of them are the same in every save. So if you like, if you see a driver with a certain rating in one, it'll be the same in every one. Let me just go down to my series. I think I'm in Asia Pacific, right? Oh, you know, we're in the European racing. Let's just scout everybody in European racing. These guys. I have a few other like free agents maybe that I'm scouting, but I'm honestly just looking for anybody. Anybody with lots of potential is good. European Racing Series. So we can look at scouted here and sort by ability. And yeah, Centauri has a little bit. Then the guy we just scouted. Okay, this guy I tried to sign, but I didn't give him enough money. Like honestly, it would have been pretty good. But if I approach him, yeah, he's not gonna be interested. Cause yeah, I should have given him more, but you know I didn't, which is not great. That guy is also not interested. You say he doesn't want to join a team in the Europe. Oh, he's in the one above. Yeah, I'm gonna just keep trying to approach him, like every so often, and eventually he'll break down and say yes. Eventually. Here, let's finish this. R&R. Burnt out. Refocused. Minus 250,000. I kind of don't want to like have a horrible driver in there, so I'm just gonna lose the money. Hopefully. Also, because of my my trait as a boss, I like make money on every single transaction, so that's good. Refocus. That's pretty pog right there. That's +1 to everything. Wait, maybe we won't have the worst drivers on the grid now? Yeah, I've seen the mods, but I kind of want to just play through as like a normal playthrough, and then maybe I can mess around with the mods and stuff after. I'm also not very good at like anything related to like modding and stuff like that. Like I played like Minecraft a little bit, and I'm like very bad at modding in that game too. So yeah, I don't want to mess anything up either. But yeah, I probably will. I'll look into it for a different save. Also, we have full sponsors. Let me think. Yeah, we can get. So for upfront, this is the most, but it's also 9 races. So I probably won't take this because it's very long. This is like way more per race, but the target is higher. Like, I think I can hit 10th though. I definitely won't take this. That upfront isn't anything at all. Doesn't add much, just names and brands. Yeah, I could try that out. But yeah, like I said, I'm just trying to start from F3 and then win F1. Then we'll go from there. I'm still kind of new. I only have like I have like 8 hours on the game, so we'll see. I'm not gonna get second or above, so like, yeah, man, I'll take the 100K for 4 races. You know, it's money, some amount of money. Okay, 1.5 for 11. There's no way I'm taking that. In terms of money, this one is the most. No, it's 2.2 in 10, and then it's like 1.5 minus 150, so it's like 1,350, 1,750 in 9, or 2.2 in 10. I'll take this. That's a lot of money. Not right now, but over time. Ravelli, 400K a race. There's no reason for me to take shield either. This is less per race. I mean, I'll take 4 mil over 10, over a mil over 6 any other day, including this day, I guess. I don't know why I would say any other day, but yes, any day, including this one. Yeah, honestly, we can just keep going. Oh, improved parts. The reliability needs to be improved quite a bit. So, yeah, we'll just improve both of our new parts. Continue. Actually, let me pause and see how high. 72 is pretty good. Let's go like one more day. Report coming up. 40% chance of rain. See, I like rain because like I can win by strategy because my car and drivers are kind of horrible. Eastwood have the best gearbox. We just built a new one though. Speaking of which, we can like fit parts, right? I mean, I guess she's our number 2. He is like a half star better. Okay, let's fit parts. He gets new engine, new gearbox. She should have all the second parts. My reliability. Why did I improve? Oh wait. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, why did I improve that reliability? First few races of the season, reliability is horrible. Yeah, it's you know, it's really all over the place. My engine though, I think I maxed it out just so I could get like be able to push, but like I'm not sure. 79%, 93%. Yeah. This one is only a little bit better. That's how you make them content, I guess. Yeah, you can like kind of scam in this game to like increase percentages. Wait, let me do that again. Kind of messed it up. Take this engine and then go back. I'm actually not sure if it does anything, but I think it does. And that's all that really matters. So all the better parts should be on his car. All the second best parts should be on her car. That's about it. Front wing is spec. Suspension. Mine is actually not the worst, which is nice. My car is very close to not being the worst on the grid. Like, we're almost in 9th place. But our engine is actually looking kind of nice. What can we build for like a good engine? This one isn't useful yet, I don't think. 214, what is my current engine? 179, I feel like that's not great enough. Let's just look at like what improvements we can get. We can, suspension, we're at 112. Okay, so it would just be like 140, which is okay. Also, our second suspension is like kind of bad, right? It's 92. So yeah, suspension could be nice. It wouldn't be for this race though, it'd be for this race, which is in a month, so we have a lot of time for that. That one's brakes. Let's look at our brakes. Improve parts. The brakes, 67. I feel like that might be able to get improved a lot. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like brakes, we can build that. Because our best right now is only 67, so let's go for that. Ah, there we go. Hopefully we don't go broke here. It's only 658 a race. Do I pay out any like bonuses? Not really. Wait, I'm paying someone 77,000. Is that a paid driver, right? Driver details. Oh my, wow, okay. She gives me almost 150,000. I will definitely take that. Where does it tell you what you make from the paid drivers? Well, like I got $642,000 from this skill. I honestly think this is the best. How do you say it? Wow, my brain is just going all over the place. Like the best sort of. Wow, the best perk you could have. Let me say it like that. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't. Oh yeah, the bonus is showed there. 114,000. Jeez, 144,000. Like, if I put her actually in the lineup, I would make a lot of money. But yeah, we'll just simulate forward. You have the building of the part going on, and oh wait, I actually meant to change this, didn't I? What is bad on reliability? These brakes are not great. What? Oh. Japan, China, that's the way, I mean, we don't really care. Dieter Wexler. That's who I want to beat, I guess. Well, really great name you got there, I guess. Financial management. Helipad? Did I just click over this? Yeah, here's, can I even build a helipad? Maybe. Wait, upgrade building. New buildings. No, I can't. Need level 2 design. Like, okay, tell me if I'm wrong, but like, the design center is like useless, right? Like, negative 0.3 days to part design time. Like, if I'm not gonna build any of these buildings, then the design center is not worth $8 million. Like, it's actually only $8 million to unlock something else. So I really don't think that's worth it. But I mean, at some point I will want all of this. Gotta get a theme park. Gotta get a road car factory set up. That's the goal, man. Oh, that is the dream. I am actually really good on money right now. I kind of want to build all the things I can now. But this just gives me knowledge, so at the end of the day, if I'm not building like the great parts, it doesn't matter. So this will unlock great gearboxes in 16 weeks. So that's like during the season, actually. Is there anything else I want to build? How much is the factory upgrade? No, yeah. Actually, I think I'm okay with not buying that. I'm actually very okay with not buying that. The test track for the engine forecasting, I don't think we need an upgrade to that. Yeah, at this point, you know, financial management, got it. Well, we can get into the race. Yeah, I upgraded my factory right away because improving parts is like slow, and it's good so far. I was able to build a new gearbox and have it upgraded like very fast. So yeah, I'll just take the 10th or above. This is including race bonuses. But this is not completely correct. But I should get a little bit of money in practice for running my a reserve driver as well. Finally, we got to get into the race. No, I haven't played in a while, so I have to feel it out. We'll see how this race goes. Did I need to make a clip channel, man? I have like, I don't know, maybe wait, let me try and find it on my channel. But every time I click out, the game freezes. So you know we're not gonna find it. But in my first race, I may or may not have said the words let's blow up the engine directly before blowing up the engine, and I now have trauma, so I'm very scared that I might destroy absolutely everything. But we can only hope, right? We can only hope that we don't destroy my career today. If I get fired, that would be so bad. That would you know, that would actually be horrible. Like legitimately, if I got fired. What is the water? We can slap some inners on. Because there's a 40% chance of rain on the day of the race. So maybe just inters. This one hasn't been configured. She has a lot tighter of like a zone for these guys. Handling, speed balance, tire choice, intermediate, confirm. Let me wait. European races, review season calendar. It says practice sunny, race sunny, so maybe we won't get rain on the day of. But I honestly have no way to know. So we'll just like send them out for the start of practice, like half of it. Oh, pause. Half of it on intermediates. This looks good. Like 6 laps? I don't know how long the lap times are. Send out. And then 6 laps. Intermediates. Send out. And we'll just kind of fast forward. Cause at the end of the day, it's just practice, man. Like they're not. I mean, they are kind of racing here, you know. He's like overtaking. She's not really overtaking back though. Obviously, we set the fastest lap. We're out there first. We're pushing. Our car does have potential, you know. If we push our car, we're faster than everyone who is not pushing, which is good. Yes, that's my big brain assessment. This is good. We have a lot of setup levels. Okay, we should just wait to get level 2 on the intermediates. So, oh wait, on this lap or next lap? Oh wait, pause. I can bring them in. Yeah, there's no point in staying out here. Let's get level 2. Because we're not gonna go for 3. So bring these guys in. And then we'll configure them for the final lap. Very poor. Okay. But luckily, I'm a professional. Very professional. Good. Exactly there. Very poor should be exactly there. Because, that's what I said. And you know, I'm so confident that I'm only gonna send them for 3 laps because I'm not confident at all. Yeah, that's really what it is. I want softs. Send out. Then this guy. Very professional. Very professional. Handling. Also very poor. Speed balance. We'll just throw them in there. Also, I have 0 confidence, so 3 laps. Takes him like a minute to tighten the wheel nuts, I guess. I don't know. Attack, overtake. And let's see. He overtakes her again. Watch this be a pull time. Watch it happen in front of you. Actually, it definitely will be. First and third. Let me just bring down this. Do they gain knowledge when I say bring in? Wait, if I say bring in, oh yeah, they're gaining knowledge. Very good. Very good. Okay, pause. I'm actually just that skilled at this game, man. Actually, high level of skill. So that was good. It's good. But then, excellent should be right in the middle. About in the middle. Let's inch it over. Speed balance. Good there and very poor there. So I'm gonna actually push it further into the corner. Wait, not wrong one. Let's try that. See if that gives us an excellent, and if not, we know where to go. So I'm gonna put him on 3 laps with the soft tires. We probably won't need this many because there's no qualifying. So she should be able to get. Actually, do we want soft tire 3? Do I think I can even get to soft tire 3? Honestly, in 5 minutes, probably not. So we'll send her 3 laps of this and just go. Excellent. Okay, good. We do not get a lot of info from you. That's okay. It could be either way. I kind of didn't place that well. But I'm going to guess right, actually. Or left. Well, you move this to the right. Speed balance. Gear ratios. Once again, we'll just put that there and see if it gives excellent. Sometimes the zones are a little odd. We'll give him 3 laps and the medium tire. So she should get level 2 on this, and he'll get level 1 on. Wait, actually, I'm only gonna select a 1 on them anyways. I have to do this all again. Stand by. Kind of wasted some time in there though. So, yeah. Okay, let's see how much knowledge they can get here. They may actually get level 3. That might have been a big clutch from me right there. The very important clutch. Oh wait, we actually might get it. Handling isn't working as well now. Okay. Okay. Very good, very good, very good. Final minute. Oh, level 3. Got level 3 soft, level 2 interest. I actually love the long practices. I know that all the other teams also get more knowledge, but like, I just feel better, man. I just enjoy getting more. But maybe that's just my simple brain. So an double excellent for car 2 over there. So that's nice. Okay. Removes the red zone. We'll look at car. Okay, this doesn't look like it's gonna rain. So obviously race trim. And on her race trim, 50% tire faster during this. We're in a refueling series. Doesn't really matter. Car setup. He has the option to remove his dead zone. I can't see his parts. Car 1 setup. I wish I could see his parts from here. You know what? We'll just go soft tires. Actually, no. Some of it's watching like the 50s. We'll just go for that. And also it'll give us like some room to like switch up the strategy, I guess. Okay, he has a lot of setup knowledge. Excellent, still an excellent. Okay to poor that way. This is a very poor. Because this one, okay. We know it goes. Oh wait, this is exactly there. Speed balance. This was good. This is very poor. This one goes exactly there. The annoying thing is we will never know if I got double excellent or not. But just know that I am confident because I'm incredibly intelligent. And it's definitely right. We can go double soft because we're gonna have to make 2 pit stops anyways. Just soft. Nice. Good for him. Or I mean soft. Double pit stop and get softs on both of them. So this one went good to poor. We're gonna try and move gear ratios over. First of all. And then just like a tick in. Do I think that's good? Yeah. There we go. And 9 to 11, she might have a little bit more difficulty going on the softs. 29 laps, just like 10. We're gonna try and do it. You might have to stretch at the end though. Oh, okay. So I went push to the limit here. Okay. Okay. We'll instantly see whether or not I made a decision on, or made a mistake on this guy right here. Can I see his car from anywhere here? Because driver form, that's not what I'm looking for. Car. Visit HQ. No. Car 1 setup. It's not up here that I can see. But you know what? Let's just go for it. Yeah. Okay. This will probably be the only race I do today. But let's make it a good one. And she's number 1 because she's last. He's actually starting 12th, which is an okay position. Why did I do that? The red dead zone is not even an issue for him at all. Like, only on this part, but like, yeah. Suspension maybe. Look at Shen-Chi! It's one of those days, isn't it? It's most certainly one of those days. 1st and 20th right now. Somehow this puts us last in the championship. Interesting. But no, stuff should even out a little bit. Then she's still pushing. She got her purples taken away from her. Because she is slow. Very slow. Not good. We do need to conserve her tires a little. They're not actually heating up that much. Him, he can push a bit more. He has more tire life. Ewell should also maybe be conserved. Actually, I want her to... Can we back up? How good does... Absolutely not. She instantly lost position. Feely and Bromwich trying to make a move. Gets closed out. Peacock is also looking for something here. Gomez got past one in the back row. I might give him some juice to overtake. This first stint might be a little short. Wow, I just want to say, this guy's car is 100% illegal. What I just saw there is scuffed. No, I'm not really winning the race. We have a reverse grid in this series. So because I was in last place, or this driver was in last place, I started in first, which is okay for now, but she's kind of getting overtaken. And this guy ran wide, literally first corner, and lost like 8 positions. But we're slowly making it up a little. Let's take down this. He has a very high leg tire wear. So let's put her into cruise. We'll have him pit first. So I also have no red zone, so like, hey, I can just push all the way. I'm trying to more so stretch on her. Her tires are 9 to 11. So I really cannot push too much on her. Like this first stint, it might be like 8 laps or something. But then I have to kind of stretch and make like a bit longer. Like 11 and 10. So I'm gonna try and do the tires on her. Him, on the other hand, he is very far back. So we're just gonna let that happen for him. He's trying to overtake, and we need to be a lap ahead of her on fuel, so we can split the blitz. Yeah, she's actually gonna come back here. But are you guys pushing? You and them are like pushing tire, then not fuel. It took Pat for a second to try and stay ahead. At least you don't get a double overtake. Down into 6th place. Dromby moves up. Gomez, on the other hand, kind of making some moves back here. Double over, like there's no way like our car is actually the worst on the grid. I really think we can do something this season. Maybe I'm just optimistic. Hey, we can have her go 7 more laps. So I'm gonna burn fuel. I feel like there's quite a... So every race should have 40% like extra fuel. And like her engine looks really good. So we should be able to push. I'm a bit worried about like suspension. That could be bad. Gomez as well, you can keep pushing. Yeah. Keep pushing that fuel. Stay light on the tires. I like what I see so far. I don't think the tires are gonna last like, because they're going like 10% a lap, they'll last like 4 more laps. So we can kind of burn all out on these guys. Her tires are already so cold. What is track temp? Also, no rain incoming. 59 degrees. It's kind of low. We could have had something better here, but that is unfortunate for our tire rating. Yeah, next year when I build my car, I am going to go bankrupt on it. Like, I'm gonna go all out. I'm trying to get that promotion there. I actually wonder if it's doable in 3 seasons when you don't start on one of the teams. Like, replacing a team seems very hard here. Okay, 5 laps left. When we did about 10% that lap. I might end up with him going longer just because his tires will be up there. So like go 4 laps, we can still keep pushing. I should have put more on her fuel. It will save me a second in the pits though. We're gonna probably fill up for like, maybe only fill up like 11 laps because we did not burn everything here. How's our engine looking? Suspension would definitely improve that reliability during the break. We have a lot of time to improve stuff. Almost a month between this race and the next one. Ooh, Shang-Chi attacking. Oh wait, no, losing the 10th place. Yikes. Yikers. Okay, let's make a call here. 2.7. Medium, he can make 3 more laps. We're gonna pit a lap early. Let's not forget this. Game sound is a bit loud. Thank you. Let's reduce the audio a little bit. Yeah, my first stream of Motorsport, the audio was actually horrendous. I kind of fixed my mic settings a bit, and that helped. But yeah, the balancing and stuff could be a little better. I think someone ran wide. Let me just make sure I'm not blundering anything. She can go for 1 more lap after this, I think. His tires should last 2 more. Yeah, her tire deck is actually looking very bad here. Tires are wearing down, boss. The pit here, 10 lap stint is good. How much fuel do we have in here? 2 laps. Yeah, we're just gonna go for 11. I don't even think I'll push as much as that. Oh wait, that's gonna fill up to 12. So yeah, if it's like 0.1 a lap, we can save like a second here, which is good. Yeah. Suspension looking a little okay. And then she will come in. He has like perfect fuel to make it 2 more laps. So yeah. That's kind of nice. His pace is actually horrendous though. 2.2 and 2.9. Yikes. I mean, he's had like 6 overtakes? He did run wide right away, but apart from that, his racing has actually been kind of nice. Like right now, he's gonna make a move on Gerard, maybe? Gerard, I don't know how to say that. Oh no, maybe he's gonna get overtaken by the guy who I tried to pick up. Oh wait, pitting. Front jack, good. Tires, good. Refueling, nice. Okay, let's pit him. We'll definitely go for softs on him. Speaking of which, how much do we have? Okay. We're gonna fill up as well, because he can stretch a little bit more. And then his last lap will under fuel. Yeah, it's like these don't go through high degradation to like 10%, so we'll just run that. I think I can go to high as well. We'll watch his pit stop, also her outlap. I should just attack. Attack, overtake. Let's see this pit. The in-lap, not gonna lie, a little questionable. We had a guy directly in front of us slowing us down. So our pace was pretty bad, but what can we do? Good. Tires. Refueling going in. And he will come out in... Oh, he almost overtook them. I'm gonna attack overtake him. Her, like I said, like she needs to conserve a little bit. Wow, okay, that guy came in kind of hot, but we instantly overtook him. Shun-Chi out in front. She's kind of in a world of her own right now. Like, very much so. She is not catching... Oh no, she's catching them a little bit. But it's kind of off and on. People behind are catching her, though. Are they pushing? Yeah, we're the only ones on the new tires not pushing on Shun-Chi. And I think it's fine. Like, they're gonna have... Like, let's look at the degradation. We have those soft tires as well. We should be looking good. After all pits came in, we're in 10th place. Like, if the race finished here, we would actually, like, tie for 6th place. That would be insane in our 2nd season, I think, for me. I don't know where I promised to finish. Probably, like, ace to 6th place, somewhere around there. I probably just said the highest one possible. Gotta get that money secured. And she, please do not get overtaken. You know what? Attack overtake for a minute to try and gap. Gerard. We don't want to be in his dirty air for like this entire race. That would not be good. Gomez, man. Bad pace. Tires are heated up. Let's bring him down. Okay, let's conserve this fuel a little bit. And then bring this down to push. He's gonna have to pack off at some point. Like, I got that he has medium tires, but wow, they're not degrading at all. But also, he might have fuel problems. Who knows? So for him, we're actually able to kind of attack fuel a lot. For her, we have 7 laps left. That would put us in at like 29. And then, no, at 19. We'd go in at about 19 and then have 10 laps left. She needs just like those few laps of tire stability are really like affecting us. Also, I should have filled her up more with fuel. That was my mistake though. Okay. Going like so. Okay, hold on. I have to make a call here. Are we gonna save fuel and try and get 7 here? No, there's no way we get 7 on these tires though. So let's just attack on fuel and bring it down about a lap. Oh, well, see you, Dallas. Yeah, thanks. My stream schedule, very inconsistent right now. But maybe over the summer when I'm less busy, I'll be able to stream like more consistently. So hope to see you sometime soon. Thanks. Her pace is flying right now. He is trying to make a move. Stuck around the 0T for absolute ages. Okay, hers is getting up into that red zone. Okay, 5 laps of fuel left. We'll let her burn for a bit more. But we also want a strong in-lap. So let's do that. And, you know, right now we're just chilling. Gomez making a proper good overtake on Valdez. He is in literally the worst team on the grid though, so kind of expected. We should be doing stuff like that. Suspension. We have 0 red zone on him, which is good. Hers, we're absolutely gonna have to fix that. Yeah, it's already gonna be different to the red zone by the time we pit. We do not want a failure there. Him, on the other hand, I actually think going for that was worth it. Honestly, attack over. We've been on overtake for so long. That might be what's hurting our suspension. But I'm not quite sure how all of that works. It might be depending on how your tire settings are. Tree, all alone by yourself here. Wow. Burn more fuel, please. No is If I'm looking at a pit in 3 laps, 2 laps. Let me think about this. If I pit in 2, okay, right now if I pit, it'll be 18. If I pit and I come out with 9 laps remaining, I should be good. So we're just gonna push this all the way. Okay. Low, pause. Okay, if I pit right now, how many laps remaining? 12 laps remaining after pit stop. Fill up 12. Okay, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. We're pitting her here. Strategy doesn't really matter. Actually, no, it does matter. Oh my. Okay. Here's the thing. Doesn't matter what we do. If we do this, we will probably be last place. Let me see how many people in front of us pit. That'll decide whether I fix everything or not. So let me just fast forward a little bit. Get to like hear about. Of course, Dembele doesn't want to crash. Like who else? Are people in front pitting? They're all gonna pit. People in the back pitting. Everyone in the race. Are they double stacking as well? Like, okay, well that's not a good example. Like, is this guy gonna double stack it? He's pitting and he's pitting. Could be risky. I will do the exact same though. I think this is the best window. 15 to 17, 10 to 12. I think because we're going to be low for a few laps, we should be fine. Oh, I can't fix with Chi in front though. Can I let him pass? Like, can I allow teammate through in safety car? Wow, that's very unfortunate that she has to fix though. Do I pit him on the next lap? Because right now, he's going to come out like dead last. And then I'm going to have to push a lot on the tires. I don't think it's worth it, actually. We'll take it for like another lap around here. I'm not going to double stack just because English. Are we fixing all parts or not? I'm just going to say no. You only fix that one and try and come out like competitive position. Actually, people behind us are not pitting that much. I think it's worth it just so we don't have to deal with it for the rest of the race. So medium, max fuel, 42-second pit stop. We have to take it, I guess. Yeah. Unfortunate that we have that many part issues, but it's the way it goes. Okay. There's no way with the separation that I'm gonna double stack them. Because he also comes out in last then, and he, like at this rate now, so I'm gonna pit from here. He might come out in last, he might not, but we'll see. 12 fast. We shouldn't come out in last, but if they catch like the safety car here, let me not put 12 times, 4 times. Could pit, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. 3 part repairs. Absolutely insane today. Let me just say that. Insane that that's the thing we just did. And we did not come out in last. 5th place, going to pit. Oh, they're just barely catching the safety. No. Okay. We're gonna come out in like 12th, maybe. We can hope. No. It's not looking good. 16th. Okay. Keep them on low. Oh wait, 16th? I think some other people pit. Yeah, the advantage of pitting, I think not following her is good there. Because we would have actually maybe come out behind these guys. We would have come out behind Chi. Not good. Either super low. Well, we're heading to garage. Okay. Let's wait for the green flag to drop. We'll pause and get these guys. Okay, actually. let's attack and attack. Try and get some heat into the tires. I know they're driving very slowly, but... Okay, attack, overtake. No overtakes off the line for any of these guys. Lau did not pit. It's stupid. Is he gonna put on this lap? He might. He very well might. Okay. She got overtaken and Gomez got overtaken. That is the worst possible situation. Like out of all of them. He has 10 laps, he has 9 laps. They both have access to end the race and kind of excess tires. So. That's decent. Also, I have just realized this entire race I've been blocking her thing. I should put that there. Wait, yellow? Oh my! I thought it was another. Oh yeah, Rogers crashed. What? Some of these guys in front of us have repairs. The reliability issues could be our friend here. Gomez, get out of my way. Please stop complaining about your own teammate. Oh, I have her on a loud teammate through. No. Ah, that might have been why she lost some of the positions. But who knows? Oh, gosh. I feel like that safety car kind of messed us up. We were moving kind of nice. But then that happened. Oh, wait, I have to text. Oh, no. Wait. Oh. Hold on 1 second, chat. I don't want to miss anything. Okay, hopefully I get a response on that. Anyways. Hopefully reliability. That's what I was saying, I think. Lau pits. Oh, also, his teammate also pits? No. Also dot pits. Lau pits. We have Chu in front of us. I mean, Gomez is in front of him at least. Would be nice for Chi to pass. Right now the tires are going through a lot of dead, so let's lower this down. Actually, I want to still push fuel. There's a lot of pushing up and down the grid. No will almost certainly pit again. Who else will pit? Not really anybody. The no will pit, that's running free position. Stromby crashed. Yellow flag. No overtaking sector 2. This is what I mean, like, okay, I'm saying that only a few people will have to pit, but like, this guy's car could break, he could retire. This guy's car could break, he could retire. Mechanical problems. Yeah, okay, up and down the field there are mechanical problems. When Noah's pit out, no wonder he passed us so fast. He was kind of going all out on a broken car. 5.5 laps less. This is what I mean. This is why you fix 3 parts in 1 pit stop. We could get like a 10th place finish here because of that. We need 2 overtakes. Valdo's pretty far up. He does have mechanical though. Was there another retiring? No. 4 laps left. Okay, Gerard pit for mechanical. Good. Okay, we just need 1 more retire or pit for mechanicals. That's all we need. How far back are these guys? My goodness. Also, that still hasn't passed the retired guy. We're only 18 seconds off leader. We are 2 seconds off of the 10th place and our sponsor bonus. Just keep it moving. We're checking that out, like fuel and tire when you cross the line. This makes it easier to calculate. Okay, she can go on orange for fuel. He'll stay on here and we'll push him a tiny bit later. We'll get some heat into these tires. 4 laps kind of perfectly here. Gomez should go in low for a quarter of a lap. But we did leave nothing to push with at the end. A little unfortunate, but the way it is. Yeah, our car is getting paced by these guys very hard. But once again, have to say it. Wait, did I miscalculate my laps left? No. Still 3 laps left. We have a chance. Just one person needs to retire. Like, you can't. I wish I could see his parts right now, because he's been on mechanical issues for like 2 laps already. I don't see him making a 3rd one, or a 5th one, I mean. Every single one of these guys has mechanical issues. Okay, maybe not every single one. One of them doesn't. Almost everyone does. Oh, there we go. He's smoking. He's gonna pit. We're passing. There we go. Some sort of failure there. Valdez's pass went to sponsors. No one even close. Wow, that might be 5 people retired here. I'm not sure though. 2.3 now, a tiny bit of excess in the tank for Shen-Chi. Banana in pits, please come out ahead of him. Did he have to pit to fix, most likely? Or just for new tires, I don't know. Valdez went into the pits for those mechanical issues. Tires are wearing down, boss. Yeah, let's back up a little bit. She is probably gonna pass. Tire wear is not helping. Actually, I think it is. 2 laps left. Oh wait, what? No, I don't need to back up. 2 laps left only. This guy have problems? He seems to be going slow. Okay, we have exactly 1.1 to push. She definitely has enough to go on high. Nick Chu is out of fuel. There we go, 8th place. Tony Peacock is out of fuel. How far up the road is he? Come on. This guy literally does not have fuel in his car. We cannot lose to a man with no fuel in his car. Come on, guys. Please. We might actually get the overtake. Come on, at the line. Medium. Oh, we actually got that overtake at the end. Bro. I'm just a genius of the craft, man. That puts us in 5th place. Okay, man. I'm just built like that, though. I'm just built like that. They don't even know, man. Yeah, I don't know if these guys in front ran out of fuel. They might have, but it does not matter. They were so far ahead. 20 seconds. I mean, that's absurd. Yeah. Nice pattern here. But hey, we got more points than this team probably. But we're like 3rd place this race. Hey, yo. Anyways, we've done the streaming thing, but I think that might be it for today. I have some stuff to go do. No rules broken. Oh wait, scrutineers? No. But you know, we are kind of close. Fastest lap given there. Man, I could have gone for a better sponsor goal. Andre Gomez moves up to 5th place. Shen-Chi still down in 16th. 5th place, man. Those 2 point scoring finishes in a row is very worth it. Or, I mean, they're all point scoring, but like 2 good finishers. I've been watching motorsports for 42 years, and I've never seen anyone worse than Claudia Dreyfus. Joke driver. Yo, she went off there, man. Bro, like, didn't have to do her like that. Nonetheless, chicken over it. Team Principal is delighted at the high finishing. I am actually delighted. I'm incredibly delighted. I'm ecstatic. Except, in fact, I'm so delighted that I'm gonna say, follow my stream. Thank you for everyone who's watching. If you're watching this on the YouTube video, subscribe. Do all the things. You know, you've probably been on the internet before. Do all the things. Thank you very much. That was a nice stream. And goodbye.